Well, first off, I was very appreciative that he took the meeting. We did it in Senator Durbin's office, and I pressed him on several things, and I found that there's a disconnect between HUD in Washington, D.C. and HUD in these people's front living rooms, right? One of the things he said was, and there were HUD officials there who said the same thing, that people did not want to stay. And I said, wait a minute. I just got through talking to people who say they do want to stay and they want options to stay and they want to find ways to stay. And that was one of the, I hope that he saw that today when the residents said, no, we want to stay here, because the message he was getting in DC was that most residents don't want to stay. And I pressed him very hard on getting the intake survey, which is what the HUD officials on the ground here are hearing from the residents and whether or not they want to stay. And then I pushed him again on trying to find ways to put funding back into some of these other buildings. And then even something as simple as, the scattered sites, which are neither of the areas we're talking about, but the scattered sites don't have air conditioning. It's August. So at least put some air conditioning in there because you have elderly in there. So the meeting, I thought, was a good meeting. He made the commitment that he would look further into it, and he came. That was our big ask for him, was to come to Cairo. But again, like today, I didn't get a lot of real concrete, what are they doing next? But that's what Senator Durbin and I do, right? It's our job to stay on top and make sure that it keeps moving along, and we'll do that.
How important do you feel it was? You've been here, you've seen the conditions. How important was it for Dr. Carson to see the conditions with his own eyes?
It was very important for me to have him see, because one of the things that I saw in the residents, and many of the residents here will say the same thing, and you heard it, I think one of the questions is that HUD officials are coming in and inspecting one apartment and saying this entire building is condemned, but there are folks who are living there who wanted us to see that they're living in conditions that may be not the best, but they don't need to be evicted out of them right away. And maybe a little bit of help and some investments in those buildings might be the way to go. I don't know, I'm not a building inspector, but I think it was important for him to come and see that there's a real community there. When I was here 4 weeks ago, I sat at a barbecue at McBride, and then we sat while the grill was going and had a nice long conversation. And that's what you need to do, to really hear from people. And that's where, I really got the sense of people want some real answers. What happens next, very much nuts and bolts, and people want justice. Those are the two main things, and they're getting neither right now.
Are you hopeful that after Dr. Carson's visit here that you'll be able to push harder out to DC and really make some change for the people here who do want to stay? This is a resilient community. I think they're willing to work just about anything right now.
Well, we'll keep pushing. I know that Senator Durbin and I will definitely keep pushing. I know I will certainly keep pushing for sure. And we'll carry the residents' voices forward. But I do want to commend the Secretary for coming. And let's hope that we've opened another line of communication beyond, the one or two people who have not been very supportive here.
All right.
Thank you.